Is Rock dead?
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
Yeah! Welcome.
You're not doing that clap thing.
Back.
Yeah, welcome back, everyone.
What's new with you in music?
Yeah, you keep doing that. Well, I've been expanding my musical horizons.
You don't want to do that.
No. Well, I can't hear you, I shouldn't. I've been listening to Lainey Wilson, which I'd never heard of before, but was just following the same lines as doing what we've done the last few album reviews on. I've searched for what's new in the charts or what's new releases, which I'd never done before.
So is that like really new then?
Yeah,
Because I'd never heard of it until you
I'd
sent me that.
I'd never heard of it or her, but yeah, it's really good, I think. And it's called Big Hat Country, and that it's like an overly stereotyped country music, but it's...
I'm gonna have sex with my family.
That's the first track. And then I've been listening to the new Carly Rae Jepsen album, which is amazing.
More of my one of the best albums in the world every day.
Yeah.
Ongoing. Had Joni Mitchell today, which was a banger.
Yeah, it's a good album.
It's a really
I
good
used to own
album.
that album.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blue.
This one was great. Jimi Hendrix as well.
Yeah,
That was
that's
on the
good.
other day. That was, just, it was a brilliant album.
Yeah.
I knew some of the songs, but I'd never listened to it front to back. So that was good fun.
Yeah. Is Joni Mitchell dead?
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
So this week we have been reviewing, or we are about to review after listening to the 1975 Being Funny in a Foreign Language.
Yep.
So were you familiar at all with the 1975?
I'd heard of them. Like, I'd seen the name pop up every now and then, but I didn't have a clue. Well, I thought, again, this is one of the bands that I was on about erroneously last week.
One moment.
Okay.
Hello? Is there anything you want to say to YouTube?
No, thank you.
That'll do.
You don't. You said you'd heard of them.
Yeah, I'd heard of them, and I thought they were like just another indie
thing.
band. The bands.
That don't exist. That
Well,
were
they do
verified.
exist. I just named the wrong ones last week because I looked just to make sure I wasn't insane. But they're nothing like that. I'd never heard them before. Before this, and yeah, they're nothing like an indie band. How about you?
I was familiar with, a few years ago, they had a song called Chocolate. And I really liked that one. That's one that I showed you last week. That
Oh yeah, it was.
we got nobody goes, guns hidden under our petticoats. I like that one. I hadn't heard anything else by them, but I know that they have got a quite devout following. Like, there's people that are really into them. They are very loved, seemingly, especially the singer Matt Healy, not Matt Heafy. That's a different person. That's the singer of Trivium. Yeah. Album art. What did you think of it?
As
remember
always,
it.
I can't remember it.
It seemed like it stood on a car.
Is that him? Is that actually him? Or is that a man?
Can't tell, can't you?
So it's a burnt out car. No
Colour.
Like, literally, you wouldn't even know what that was because the 1975 or the album title are not on the album.
That's true, yeah, the actual... it's just a picture of a dude in a car, in it?
Yeah, so from that could literally be anything.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. Like, the album art, just taken as it is by itself, tells me nothing.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't tell me... Having actually listened to the album, I wouldn't expect that kind of music from it, but I don't know if I would expect anything.
I think maybe dance music. This is what's happened.
You could be
after
mid-rave.
a rave, yeah.
Yeah. So what did you think of the album?
It was okay.
Right.
Like, the first few tracks just went by in a bit of a blur. Like, they all sounded quite similar. And then it got up to about track 5, I think it is, Old Caroline. That was a really good song. And then it seemed like they a weird thing for bands to do, because normally they front load albums with the strongest tracks. Obviously, it's all subjective, but in this case, it seemed like from the middle of the album onwards, it was good.
Right.
Whereas the other one part of it was forgettable. How about you?
I didn't like the first track. It was very
That was
much...
just called the 1975.
Yeah.
wasn't it?
But that felt very much just like an intro track. Like, that song's never going to be a single. I might be proven wrong. I don't know which songs have gone out as singles, but if that is one. But yeah, I didn't particularly like that one. The second one I thought was okay. Then the third one I loved.
Looking for somebody to love.
Yeah. That's where it's...
Explicit language.
And then Oh Caroline, I loved. And then the last song, When We're Together, I loved.
I liked well, to be fair, I've said Old Caroline, number 4 part of the band. That was a really good song. But I think All I Need to Hear is my favourite track on there. And that was like another ballad. Yeah,
You're into your ballads, aren't you?
I know.
That's like the
I'm
common
old,
theme
man.
on this show is you going, I like when the sad.
Yeah. The other tracks on there, I don't know what music you describe it as, because it said, they put on Wikipedia, my favourite source of information, as pop rock, but there's nothing about them that remotely rocks. It's pop music,
Well, I guess
isn't it?
it's a band, isn't it? And being a band at all kind of makes you rock, regardless of how you
It shouldn't
sound.
do.
But yeah.
You need to rock if you're a rock band, and these don't rock.
They remind me, because I was thinking about like what genre would I consider it to be. I would consider it to be 80s inspired pop rock.
It's definitely 80s.
Yeah, quite synthy in bits, but not like heavy rubber synths and stuff. It's just...
I don't know what that means.
It's just very 80s sounding, I guess. It's very kind of camp happy in bits.
And again, the vocals, they're quite grating at times. Like, they're very treated. Like, that's obviously not his voice.
I think it is a lot of the time, yeah.
He's got a bad voice then.
He's got a very distinct voice, I'd say. I think I've already said my top three. Did you say your top three?
So my top three are All I Need Is You. That's the ballad. Oh, Caroline and...
In the band, he said, or something.
Part of the band.
Part of the band.
Yeah.
Any songs that you hated?
I also didn't like the 1975, the
Yeah.
band. No, the opening track, I just thought, like you, it was just... That and the second track just seemed to meld into one. There wasn't any punch, like, it needed to be more identifiable.
I do usually like if I listen to an album and the tracks bleed into each other, I like that when you can't really tell where one finishes and one ends. But just in this case, I'm not sure if it did actually bleed one into the other or if it just sounded very similar.
Well, I didn't notice any break. I didn't even know that the third track had started.
Yeah, I say from track 3 onwards, for me, it started getting a lot better. I think Oh Caroline, I love that song. Like, that's a very, very... If we were to go track by track, I think there'd be some songs on here where I'd say it's like 3 out of 10, and then some songs that are like 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
It's just very, very variable for me.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah.
Like, Oh Caroline was my second favourite. And to be fair, that and All I Need Is You, that they're both pretty much equal. I don't get, like, what is in vogue these days, because that album got universal acclaim,
Did it?
according to Wikipedia. But yeah, but loads of their albums have. When I read the rundown on it on Apple Music, he said this was like if you're going to listen to a 1975 album to get a taste of what they are like, this is the one that you should listen to, because it's got every element of the band. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, well, how is this super popular? Okay, it wasn't like music that you really could dance to.
I mean, I'm going to be a cynic and say, like we've said for some other bands, like Blackpink, it helps if you're good looking, and the singer's a good looking guy.
Really?
Yeah, he's a very twinky...
You're allowed to say twink.
You can say twink. Why could you not say twink?
Don't know.
Would it make you, say for example, there's been bands I've gone to where you've given me a ticket for free. Say for example, I had 2 tickets, you could go and see them for free. Would you be interested from what you heard from this?
Yeah, for free, yeah.
Would you pay?
No. If it was a tenner, probably still not. I still wouldn't go and see them.
No, I think I'd probably agree, to be honest. Like,
I'd rather have the tenner.
if someone said to me, I've got some tickets, just go in, they're going to go to waste, do you want to go? I'd say yeah. If they were saying they're on in a small venue, 15 quid a ticket, which is very cheap for a gig these days, I'd probably say, well, I'd want to stay in and watch TV, to be honest. I'd rather sit and watch Love is Blind.
If it was a choice between Love is Blind and paying to see 1975, I'd probably pay to see the gig. Just so I don't cringe out of my skin.
Thinking between 0 and 10. I think it's a hard one for me to put a number on. I do have a number in mind, but with
Is
it
it
being...
between 0 and 10?
Well, I'll change it then. It is hard to put a number on it because it is so variable. I think some songs on there are somewhat rubbish, and then some songs on there I love. What number would you put on it?
5.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because a lot of the album I couldn't care less. Whereas the songs that I do really like, so yeah, averages it upwards from like a 2.
Well, I was thinking it's probably somewhere between 3s and 9s for me. So I had in mind like a 6. I enjoyed it overall. It was good. Didn't knock my socks off. Even like, what am I likely to go back to it? Listen to it? Maybe I'll listen to Oh Caroline again.
I don't even think I'd listen to any of it.
Yeah.
Even though I like them.
If we were out in a club
No.
in Friars, Oh Caroline came on, you're a bit tipsy, would you be?
I'd probably go, No, I've never heard this song before. I can't even think what it sounds like now. I just remember it going, yeah, I like that one.
Oh, Caroline, got you on my mind.
Oh, yeah. So that's an average of 5.5. So what does that mean?
Well, I think we agreed at the beginning, if something's below 5, it's bad. If it's above 5, it's good.
I think we need to
If it's
that.
on 5, it's still bad, because if something's middling, it's not good. So it's very slightly into the good.
I think we need to change that because we're going to end up with most albums being good. If we're saying some of the album has songs of a rating of 3, that's not a good album.
But if some songs have a rating of 9,
But it's not a good album though, is it? It's got some good songs.
that's why
on
it's
it.
only a 6.
Well, this album isn't good.
In your opinion. In
What's it
mine,
in
it's
yours?
slightly good, which is why it's a 6.
So I don't think it's good. You think it's good, so it's good. That's what I'm getting.
Only
from
because you put it as a 5. If you
Four.
put it,
It's
no,
a
you can't
4.
change it just for the purposes of that. If you said at the beginning it's a 4, then yeah, music's not good.
You said last week, I need to start judging more harshly because
I never said I need to
I'm
judge more
scoring
harshly.
too high.
I said I do score high, but I never said I need to judge
Scoring
more
high
harshly.
again. She actually thinks it's a 3. It's
I
a
don't
bad
think it's a
album.
3. Join us next week.
Carly Rae Jepsen,
What's the album called?
The Loneliest Time. Doesn't that just sound fun?
I like all these ballads now. Let's listen to The Loneliest Time.
And yet it's not even got a single ballad. It's morbid though.
Any
So-
closing statements?
Yeah, so music, is it good though?
Oh yeah. Yeah?
Yeah,
Slightly.
apparently.
It's a bit good. I mean, yeah, it leans towards good.
Bye.
Bye then.